And then you take Puzzle-B, our flagship right now. That has taken 8 months, if you will. And we are not done yet. So we have a clear roadmap, and we have definitely at least 2 months of very intensive development work to do before we even begin to put this someplace else. I reveal no secret, and you can probably imagine this, that we actually, and this goes back to another question, because we got so many requests that said, oh, the only reason I come to Facebook, I'm sorry, Nick and everyone else, is because of Puzzle-B, which is very flattering, or they say it's the best Facebook application, can I have it outside Facebook? And so early on, we actually developed puzzleb.com to be like the Facebook app, but outside of Facebook. And we actually had that site in October, and it was ready in Chinese, in French. We were about to do it in Japanese. It was ready to go live, but then we stopped doing so. It's still sitting there as a beta. You can sign up for a beta account if you wish. But the point was, we realized we are not done yet with that app. And so the app development probably will have been a year in total. And once we're done with that, then we may actually say, okay, now we've got a concept which is complete, and we have done most of what we wanted to do, and we stop and we will go to different platforms. And while Facebook certainly will remain one of our main focuses because that's where the app is most developed, we certainly plan to take the same system and put it on MySpace, on Bebo, on Friendster, on iGoogle, you name it. And so, and that also maybe is a comment to what David said, it is true that if you make a Facebook app, well, you're a little bit sort of, you have to live with, you know, their changes and so on and so forth. But at the same time, especially with the advent of competing platforms like Open Social, but it will be on Orchid and MySpace, you actually can more or less develop your property once. You've got the experience what works socially, so the social engineering, which is the much biggest part of your app, is done, and you can actually put it on different platforms as well. Now, obviously, I like Facebook, and I'm mostly familiar with it, but one should put it in the perspective of saying you can actually today build a business without even having your own website. And that's been suggested before. These days, the costs of starting a great idea, they are small. In the past, you wouldn't have gotten away without millions of investment and then maybe 1 or 2 years of trying to make it work. These days, you can fail very, very quickly with less money. So developing an app doesn't cost as much anymore because you get your response very quickly.
Thank you, Marcus. James.
One last very pragmatic question. On that basis, if an app can take 90 minutes to create, if I'm a business owner, how much should I expect to pay for a consultant to create me an app?
Well, I think the key there, and I'm happy to answer this because that's what we do, certainly consulting. The thing is, we have by now, and many people in our sort of situation have by now found by trial and error and lots of pain what works and what doesn't to a degree that makes success more predictable. Not guaranteed, but more predictable. And we can pretty much take any app idea, if you will, apply what we have learned to that. And so a 90-minute app can be a success still today if it has the right ingredients. And so that's what we call our secret sauce, if you will. And obviously, even though I'm sharing almost everything, there are some things that I need to keep, for myself. But if you look at our apps, you can probably see some pointers of what we do. And so we know what works from our experience, for which we have paid for, with hard work and effort. And so there's still services out there that do consulting. And many these days can be confident in offering companies performance-based deals. So for example, we could say, you don't pay us a cent until this app has reached 100,000 users, for example. And then particular bonuses are due. That could be one possible scenario. Another one could be, we say, look, we monetize your app, and we'll take only anything above what you would be happy with. Let's say you are happy to earn 50 cents on that one user, let's say, and we apply our magic and we take everything above. Without us, you maybe earn much less. With us, you get that level. And if you don't get it, you don't pay anything. So the point I'm making here is that the knowledge is out there, but basically it's almost as if you give it to someone, well, then they take all these 8 months of hard yards with many people and use it. And so, but it's not to happen. What we do is we say, well, we guarantee if you work with us, apart from a retainer for our, just to cover our costs, we can say, well, we can make a deal if you want to, where we say, well, we work with you until your app is that much, and then there's bonuses that have to be paid, and if it's even bigger, maybe even bigger bonuses. This really depends on the app, because not every app needs to have a huge install base. I've said it before, say it again. The total number of users that you have isn't really important. 12 million sounds great. I should be rich by now. We're doing okay, but the truth is we have about 160,000 daily active users overall our app. So we're doing okay, quite successful, but our goals are to really work on that. Rather drive repeat engagement, rather find something where the app by itself is helping to grow it. So you don't have to advertise so much, but rather the app advertises itself, to your friends.
I have a Facebook app, and we've got about 6,000 users. It's a charity app, and we've managed to raise about $15,000 over a couple of months.
Very good.
The interesting thing was I recently, the guys who came up with the concept, I just helped them out by building the Facebook app. They run the main website, and they really pushed me to put invite functionality into it. And so recently, I keep a lot of stats, so I dug through all the stats and we're just doing some reviews, and I found out the success rate of pushing out an invite is about 0.0002%. It was shocking. So I just want to know from you guys, because you have a large spread, are invites really the key to spreading?
I should say, I think a success rate maybe was determined differently. The success rate where you send it in, and the success determined by what most people see the success is the request is sent and then the person installs the app. That's success. So you must be looking at some different stats that go beyond just installing.
We look at plain installs, and we find invites are like I was going to write a blog article saying the incremental cost of putting invite functionality into your app seems to be, don't even put it in, because no one pays attention to the invite.
I couldn't disagree more with you if I wanted to.
Okay, so your traffic is driven solely
the lowest acceptance rate on our invite is 10%.
Okay.
How are people coming into your app?
They're largely driven by looking at the profile boxes. So they go to other people's site and they see the profile box and they see, you can donate to charity without using any of your money. How does that work? So they essentially go over there. Secondly, I think we don't have users. We have kind of a cult. I get death threats when the app goes down. I kid you not. There's some very aggressive users, and I think they spread it on their own just outside of the channel, and they just send links to other people, and they come via email. It's called iRipple. Yeah.
Just on that, with the Facebook applications, there's intrinsics now, which actually show you what your install metrics are.
Yeah, I looked at them. I said I had 14,000 users today, and I just...
Well, these numbers are wrong. It's a week, but not the invites.
Not how many you've got. There's actually there's more metrics further in now when you drill down. They've only released it in the last 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And I'm only a hobbyist. I've got no commercial interest, and my worst would be about 8%.
Really?
Installs based on invites.
So I must be doing something drastically wrong.
I think you're looking at the wrong numbers there. I think you would have at least around 8-10%. Yeah.
Okay. Does it tell you how many invites a person sends out and what the conversion rate is?
No, it tells you the conversion rate. It tells you how many are ignored and how many are accepted.
Okay.
Have you tested your invites?
Yeah, I have. I tell you what, I've gone and wondered, my God, this is horrible. What's going on?
It's worth pointing out that when you get into the invite area, it's really important what the text of your invite is, and you should really be changing that. I mean, if you say Tom invites Fred to your application, it's not enticing. There's no social pressure. There's probably a limited chance that person's going to respond to that invite.
Yeah.
If you say Tom needs you to help him save the world, there's probably a bit more social pressure there. There's more likelihood.
Don't use the death threat thing.
No, I get the death threats.